Welcome to English Fluent Talk, the place where we dive deep into the topics that shape our thoughts, lives, and futures. Not only do we explore interesting and impactful topics, but you also have the opportunity to improve your English listening and speaking skills here with every video. Today, we're addressing a subject that affects billions of people around the world: social media addiction. We live in a world where our phones are always within arm's reach, and social media has become a significant part of daily life. Every time we check Instagram, scroll through TikTok, or swipe through Facebook, we feel like we're connecting with the world. But at what cost? Is social media stealing your time and future? Have you ever stopped to think, is all this scrolling actually stealing your time, and perhaps even your future? Social media platforms have become so ingrained in our lives that we often fail to recognize their hidden dangers. In this video, we'll unpack the reality of social media addiction, explore its dangers, and discuss how we can regain control over our time, focus, and lives. Trust me, this may be the most important wake-up call of your digital life. So, sit back, relax, and get ready for a deep dive into the issue of social media addiction, because this is something that could change your perspective on the digital world. 1. The silent addiction you didn't see coming. When most people think of addiction, they usually picture substances like alcohol, drugs, or gambling. However, what if I told you that there's a more invisible, yet equally powerful addiction at play in our lives today? Social media addiction is a real and growing problem, but it often goes unnoticed because it doesn't come with the typical signs we associate with addiction. We don't have withdrawal symptoms, we don't crash, and we certainly don't feel the urgency to get help. Social media apps like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat are specifically designed to keep us coming back for more. These platforms use intricate algorithms to track your habits and interests, constantly feeding you content that they know will hook you. Before you realize it, you've spent hours mindlessly scrolling through posts, watching videos, or reacting to stories. You didn't even notice how your mind was being hijacked by these platforms. They're designed to keep you glued to the screen, and the more time you spend on them, the harder it becomes to break free. This addiction may feel harmless, but it is leading to a decline in productivity, reduced focus, and even a breakdown in real-life connections. Over time, you may begin to realize that the amount of time spent online directly correlates with the absence of meaningful accomplishments or personal growth. The more you scroll, the more you are distancing yourself from building the future you want. The reality is that this addiction is often disguised as a harmless habit that many people don't even realize they're trapped in. But once you acknowledge it, the next step is to regain control. 2. The cost of constant scrolling. Let's talk about time, one of our most valuable resources. It's easy to underestimate just how much of our day is consumed by social media until we really pay attention. The average person spends 3 to 5 hours a day on social media time that could be spent on something far more rewarding. That's around 1,000 hours per year. Think about that. 1,000 hours spent browsing content that doesn't enrich your life in any substantial way. Now, let's put that into perspective. If you spent those 1,000 hours on a productive pursuit, learning a new language, mastering a skill, building a career, you could drastically improve your life. That's 45 full days of your life, every year, spent scrolling, liking, commenting, and consuming digital media. If you spent that time growing your personal development or focusing on building your future, imagine how much further you'd be. Yet, instead, most of us unknowingly give up our most precious asset time without thinking twice. Once that time is gone, it's never coming back. It's like a black hole where the more you give, the less you get in return. Instead of reaping the rewards of social interaction and entertainment, you're left with empty minutes that you can never get back. It's not about being anti-social media, but rather learning how to balance our time in a way that benefits us in the long run. Imagine if you dedicated just half of that time to reading books, learning a new language, or working on personal goals. Much more fulfilled and accomplished would you feel at the end of the year. Taking control of your time is the key to achieving success, personal growth, and happiness in ways that social media just can't provide. 3. The illusion of connection. One of the major reasons why social media is so addictive is because it creates the illusion of connection. We have hundreds, sometimes even thousands, of friends and followers across platforms like Facebook and Instagram. But what does this truly mean? While these platforms allow us to stay in touch with people, they often lead to shallow interactions that don't add any real value to our relationships. Instead of engaging in meaningful conversations or spending quality time with loved ones, we're often left with just a quick like or a brief comment. Social media promises connection, but it often leads to feelings of loneliness. You can scroll through hundreds of posts and still feel more isolated than ever. Furthermore, social media fuels the idea of comparison. We're constantly bombarded by the best versions of other people's lives. We start to compare ourselves to others, thinking they have it better, their lives are more exciting, or they're more successful than we are. This creates feelings of self-doubt and insecurity, and we begin to view ourselves through a distorted lens. Instead of focusing on deepening our own relationships, we're fixated on the lives of others. This is where the illusion really takes hold. We think we are connecting, but in reality, we are often more disconnected than ever before. What we fail to realize is that this false connection can lead to a profound sense of emptiness, leaving us searching for something real that social media simply cannot provide. The constant flow of content can feel like we are staying updated, but all it truly does is distance us from true human connection. Real connections are built on face-to-face communication, understanding, and empathy, not on filtered posts and fleeting interactions. 4. The psychology behind the trap. So, why is it so hard to stop? The truth is, social media is specifically designed to be addictive. The platforms we use daily have built-in psychological techniques to keep us hooked. It's not just about posting pictures or reading news, it's about manipulating our behavior. Let's look at the features that make social media so irresistible. The infinite scroll, the endless stream of content that never ends, and the way our brains become entranced by this constant availability. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, your feed keeps refreshing, offering you new, interesting content every few seconds, making it nearly impossible to stop. Then, there's the variable reward system. Sometimes we get a lot of likes on our posts, and sometimes we get none. This unpredictability is incredibly addictive. Another factor is notifications, those little red badges that make us feel like we're missing out on something important. Each notification triggers a tiny bit of anxiety, which leads to the compulsion to check our phones immediately. And finally, let's not forget about FOMO, fear of missing out. We feel like if we don't check our feeds constantly, we might miss something crucial. These psychological tactics are not random. They've been carefully designed to keep us coming back again and again. Every time you engage, your brain releases a hit of dopamine. And before you know it, you're back in the loop, constantly searching for that next like or comment. The platforms are engineered to make us feel like we're missing out, constantly feeding our desire for validation and keeping us tethered to our screens. The more we engage, the more we are conditioned to come back for more. These techniques are incredibly effective in keeping users addicted and captivated by the digital world. 5. Your attention equals their profit. Here's an uncomfortable truth. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Social media platforms make money by selling your attention. Every time you scroll, like, comment, or share, you're generating data that the platform can use to sell targeted ads to advertisers. The more time you spend on these apps, the more they can profit from you. Your attention is the most valuable currency in the digital age, and social media companies have learned how to monetize it. They know that the more addictive the experience is, the more they can capitalize on your time. This is why they invest heavily in making these platforms as engaging as possible, using advanced algorithms to keep you hooked. But what's the cost to you? Every moment you spend on social media is a moment you could have spent investing in yourself. Instead of using your time to grow your career, learn new skills, or build meaningful relationships, you're sacrificing it for someone else's profit. It's not just about losing your time, it's about losing the opportunity to shape your future. Every second of distraction on social media is a second taken away from building a skill that could change your life. This constant exchange of your time for their revenue should make you rethink how you interact with these platforms. 6. Reclaiming your time. If you're feeling overwhelmed by social media's hold on your time, know that you're not alone, and it's possible to take back control. You don't have to delete every app or go on a social media detox, though some people find this helpful. What's important is that you become aware of how much time you're spending on these platforms and actively decide to use your time more intentionally. A good place to start is by tracking your usage. Most smartphones have built-in features like screen time or digital well-being that can show you how much time you spend on each app. Once you know how much time you're wasting, you can set daily limits for social media. For example, decide to check your accounts only during certain times of day. Another great habit is scheduling phone-free hours, especially before bed or during meals. You'll notice a big improvement in your focus and mood. The more conscious you are with your time, the more powerful your daily routine becomes. 7. What you could build instead. Now, imagine what you could do if you reclaimed your time. Instead of spending hours scrolling through endless posts, you could be working on something meaningful that will bring long-term benefits to your life. Every minute you save from the grip of social media can be used to improve your skills, pursue a passion, or even build a career. Picture spending just 30 minutes a day learning a new language. Over the course of a year, you could go from beginner to conversational fluency. You could also use that time to build a side hustle, write a blog, or take online courses. Even small steps toward your dreams are better than staying stagnant online. Over time, these efforts create real results. That's something a like or comment can never do. 8. The future of social media and your role in it. As technology continues to advance, social media is becoming more sophisticated, and it will only get more pervasive. With the introduction of augmented reality, AR, virtual reality, VR, and artificial intelligence, AI, social media is poised to become an even more immersive and engaging part of our lives. We may soon find ourselves in fully digital worlds where social interaction happens through virtual environments. The question we need to ask ourselves is, how much of our lives do we want to give up to these digital worlds? You don't need to disconnect completely, but you do need a plan. Think about how you want to use social media in the future. Set clear boundaries and check in with yourself regularly. Your digital habits should reflect your goals, not steal from them. Final thoughts. Social media addiction is a silent yet pervasive problem that's impacting millions of people around the globe. It's more than just a harmless pastime. It has real consequences on our time, focus, mental health, and even our future. The first step in overcoming this addiction is becoming aware of how much time we are losing to these platforms, and realizing that this time could be better spent on things that truly contribute to our personal growth. While social media can be a powerful tool for connection and learning, it's essential to approach it with intention. We need to reclaim our time and put it toward pursuits that lead to tangible progress, whether that's personal development. Thank you for watching the video. If the video was helpful, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. Good luck!